Let's jump right into today's explainer, guys, because we are investigating something absolutely chilling. We're breaking down the deeply terrifying events surrounding the mysterious village of Berhampur. It's this wild story where ancient, terrifying mythology crashes completely head-on into the rational, modern world. If you love dissecting a good mystery where the facts just do not seem to add up, you are definitely in the right place. Okay, so just picture this. You're walking alone in a dense, dark forest, and echoing through the foggy mist, you hear this heavy, rhythmic chant. Bam, bam, bosh. Bam, bam, bosh. It's not just some random noise in the woods. In the local lore, this sound is literally a harbinger of absolute doom. Hearing it approach through the trees immediately sets the tone for the nightmare we're about to uncover. And that really brings us to the core of what we're looking at today. What exactly happens when an ancient, deadly village curse collides with modern science? We've got two completely unrelated storylines here. One is a centuries-old terror keeping locals frozen in time, and the other is a high-pressure modern scientific quest. As you'll see, these two worlds are going to brutally intersect on one fateful, terrifying night.
Section 1. The Terrifying Mystery of Berhampur. We're kicking our investigation off with the first of our two worlds located deep in the valleys of Madhya Pradesh.
So the whole village is completely paralyzed by the fear of these entities known as the Nishirmolo. The elders say that on Saturday nights, 4 terrifying men emerge from the shadows. They're chanting that deadly mantra we just talked about, all while carrying a cursed coffin, a taboot, on their shoulders. And there's one absolute non-negotiable rule in this village. If you hear them coming, you hide and you do not look at them. Because making eye contact with the Nishirmolo, it results in certain death.
Now, you might be wondering if people actually believe this. Well, take a local guy named Madan. It's a classic case of ignoring the warnings. One Saturday night, he completely disobeys his father to go hang out with friends. He's walking down this narrow jungle path when he hears it, the heavy footsteps, the chanting. At first, he's smart, he hides in the bushes, but then he makes a fatal mistake. Thinking the coast is clear, he steps out, hears the chant right behind him, and turns around. The next morning, a search party finds him by a banyan tree, paralyzed by a terror so profound, it's like he looked directly into the abyss. This legend is very, very real to these people.
Section 2. Meghna's Dream and Quest. Let's pivot completely from this rural nightmare to a modern setting, where a totally different kind of mystery is brewing.
Talk about a complete 180, right? We're leaving behind the superstitious dread of Berhampur for the fast-paced, hyper-rational reality of a laboratory in Delhi. Meet Meghna and her lab partner, Ishita. They aren't losing sleep over ancient curses. They're stressed out about their demanding boss, Professor Jaydev, who is breathing down their necks for a completed antidote.
But here's the thing, science isn't protecting Meghna from her own subconscious. You know those dreams that feel so real you wake up sweating? She is being plagued by this incredibly vivid recurring nightmare. She's running through a dark 400-year-old forest, being chased by this terrifying giant bird. But the dream always zooms in on one specific detail, a strange tree that's dripping a mysterious bright green liquid. It's an image that's practically burned into her brain.
Section 3. The Clue of Mrityunjay Amrit. Now, let's see exactly how this bizarre dream ends up bleeding into waking reality.
Okay, so Ishita is digging around for anything that might help their antidote research, right? She stumbles upon this ancient book of folklore, and it mentions a mythical substance called Mrityunjay Amrit, an elixir of immortality. But here's the real kicker. Right there on the ancient page is an illustration of a tree dripping green liquid on full moon nights. It is literally the exact same tree from Meghna's nightmare.
With Professor Jaydev giving them a strict 3-day deadline, Ishita is like, we have to test this Mrityunjay Amrit. And wouldn't you know it, the book says this incredibly rare tree is located in only one place, Berhampur. Meghna obviously recognizes it from her terrifying dreams, but completely hides her real reasons for agreeing to go. Without having any idea what they're walking into, the girls hop on a 5-hour bus, driving straight toward a cursed village.
Section 4. The storm arrives in the village. Let's look at the absolute chaos that unfolds the second these two worlds collide.
The moment Meghna and Ishita step foot in Berhampur, pretending they're just there for a university research project, the environment itself practically recoils. It's like nature is throwing up massive red flags. A sudden freezing storm rips through the streets. The sun gets entirely swallowed up by dark clouds. Even when the local mukhya, the village head, kindly invites them into his home to shelter, a sacred lamp in his household temple just suddenly blows out.
The village priest sees all of this, and he immediately hits the nail on the head. Watching the sacred lamps extinguish, he just mutters, "These signs do not look right. O Lord, protect us." He knows. He knows that the protective boundaries of the village have just been completely shattered by these outsiders.
Section 5. The 400-year-old palace. Totally clueless about the supernatural alarms they're tripping, the girls continue their hunt. They end up chatting with Anuj, the Mukhia's son, who casually mentions the nearby ruins of King Sorjban's 400-year-old palace. Seeing an opportunity to investigate without the whole village watching, they plan a literal midnight heist. Step 1. Wait for everyone to fall asleep. Step 2. Brave the unusually harsh, windy streets with Anuj leading the way. Step 3. Pry open a jammed window and sneak straight into the dark, ancient ruins.
Actually, hold up, let's pause right here, because this is where the plot thickens big time. They get inside, it's dark, it's dusty, but for Meghna, it doesn't feel like a discovery. It feels like a memory. She is suddenly hit with this massive, overwhelming wave of déjà vu. Every single corridor of this 400-year-old palace feels deeply, inexplicably familiar to her. I mean, why on earth would a modern-day scientist from Delhi feel like she's walked the halls of an ancient ruin before?
Section 6. The return of Nishir Molo. Because while the girls are playing detective inside, the real nightmare is waking up outside.
The timing here is just absolutely chilling. Check out this timeline. Right at midnight, the exact moment Anuj sneaks the girls into the palace, the restless priest is outside, watching these awful dark shadows physically swirling in the sky. And mere moments after that, down these supposedly empty corridors of the ruins, Meghna, Ishita, and Anuj hear the unmistakable, terrifying sound of heavy boots marching toward them.
And then, cutting through the howling wind, is the one sound this entire village prays they never hear. Bam, bam, bash. Bam, bam, bash. The Nishir Molo, who have been quiet for years, are back. Meghna and Ishita didn't just bring bad weather, they literally resurrected Berhampur's darkest, deadliest curse.
And out by the edge of the forest, folklore is turning into cold, hard reality. Two locals, Sampad and Kapta, are out there gambling, totally ignoring the storm. Suddenly, the wind whips up so intensely they're nearly blinded, and stepping right out of the dust are four massive men with glowing red eyes. Nishir Molo stop dead in their tracks right in front of them, the cursed coffin resting on their shoulders.
The sheer panic of this moment is off the charts. Slowly, the cursed coffin creaks open. We don't even see what comes out of it, but man, we don't need to, because immediately this horrific, blood-curdling scream completely shatters the night. It's the kind of sound that literally paralyzes every single villager in their bed with absolute terror. The curse is fully awake.
Which brings us to the massive cliffhanger of today's explainer. Who or what exactly are the Nishir Molo? Why did they snap out of dormancy the exact second Meghna arrived in town? And seriously, how is a modern-day lab researcher bound to a 400-year-old coffin and a mythical elixir? The collision of science and folklore has just officially claimed its first moments of terror. So what do you guys think is actually inside that coffin? Let that sink in,